Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. It's Irish month. Today we're doing Redbreast. Now, note, if I sent you a sampler like this, go ahead and pause the video, get your stuff out, get ready. We're going to do Redbreast 12, then 15, then the Lustau. So I encourage you to drink along with me. This is going to be fun. I'd love to see your comments in the comments section and see what you thought of each whiskey as you went through them with me. So, if you're bored, let's do this. We're going to do Redbreast 12 first. Now, Redbreast is made by Middleton. So that means it's all Jameson. It's all from the same huge, enormous distillery that creates Jameson. They do about half of all Irish whiskeys. Just the way it is. But they're doing some interesting stuff. Now, Redbreast has a full lineup of awesome products. You have the 12, the 15, the Lustau. Then you have a 21 year, and then you have older Dream Cask Redbreast. There's a 27 year. There's a few others that have been special releases. So they're really putting out some interesting stuff. And then later in the month, we're going to get to another really interesting Middleton experimental series. It's going to be fun. So let's start with the 12. Let's talk about it. It's a 40 ABV. Jeez, my brain doesn't want to work today. 40% alcohol by volume. That's what I was trying to say. This thing is aged in bourbon and sherry, Spanish oak, Oloroso butts. It's a blend of malt and unmalted barley. Smell that. Nutty. Oily. There's some citrus peel. Some fruit, maybe melon, some citrus, maybe a hint of ginger. Let's taste it. The citrus shows up even more on the taste. The hint of dried fruit, the ginger's there. This doesn't give you a wash of alcohol. It's only 40%, so easy sipper. If you go back to the nose, you're showing a little bit more brown sugar, maybe a little honey, along with that melon and fruit note. Like it's drizzled. Maybe a hint of toffee. Hint of that wood. The sherry, the Oloroso sherry, hardly even shows up. I mean, that's where your fruit notes are coming from. Some of your dried fruit, some of your melon notes. But it doesn't jump out of the glass at you. Oh, yeah. And if you want Redbreast 12 turned up a notch, they do make a cask strength version. I highly recommend getting that. I'm finally starting to get that biscuity note. It's like biscuit and melon showing up on the nose now. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Now, I'm going to leave a touch in there so that we can compare it to the 15 year. If you don't have that poured already, go ahead. Now, this one is first fill and second fill Oloroso aged. Also some bourbon casks. It's 46%. So they already are kicking it up a notch right here. That's very, very oily. This is richer and fuller. Slightly less sharp. Not that that is sharp, but slightly less sharp than the 12. A bit more grounded, more earthy. The orange, the citrus is more orange and it's a little brighter. Brown sugar, the fruit is leaning more apricot. Almost, instead of oak, this one leans more cedar. Let's taste it. Oh, the cedar shows up way more on the taste than on the nose. Vanilla, cherry. The orange is still there. The apricot is totally still there. Oh. The 15-year is clearly superior to the 12-year. It's just fuller and richer and got more going on. And that little bit higher ABV is really helping. You start to feel it in your chest. It's just fuller and richer and more robust. Now, it would be a fun experiment to compare the 15 to the Redbreast 12-year cast strength. And I haven't had the 12 cast strength in a while. But if I remember correctly, the Redbreast cast strength 12-year, in my opinion, was better than the 15-year. It was just more bodacious and bigger and because it was cast strength. So I think that's the value pick. Oh, that biscuity note is really showing up more and more. Buttered biscuit. And the more you go back to it. Let's crack the Lustau. Now, this one is aged in American and European oak. The American is going to be your bourbon barrels. The European oak is going to be the sherry butts. And then it's thrown, so you're doing some aging in probably second fill or multiple past fill Oloroso sherry butts. So some of the whiskey is aged in that. Then the whole thing is blended together. Then put into first fill Oloroso sherry casks. They don't say butts. Could be regular barrel size, could be butt size. For 1 year. And this is also 46% ABV. Oh, the Oloroso sings out of this glass. Sweet. The biscuity note is right in the front with that sweet Oloroso sherry note. There is a tiny little sharpness that tells me that this is a younger whiskey that they did this to. Now, I don't know that 100%, but it just feels that way. This feels like, yeah, the Lustau finished feels younger than the 12-year, which doesn't surprise me. They're throwing that finish on there to have a marketable product. These may be, I don't want to say rejected barrels, but barrels that they didn't think were going to turn out well enough to be Redbreast 12 or 15, and then they threw a finish on them so that they could then sell those products. Is it interesting? Absolutely. Is it a nice product? Absolutely. Does it come off a little bit younger? Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely comes off younger than the Redbreast 12. And no competition with the 15. So, it has that brightness from the youth, but it's also got a lot of really nice complementary sweetness to go with that. A little bit of green apple. Lots of berries. That melon note is there. It's more melon rind than the meat of the fruit of the melon. It's funny. I almost get a rye note on this, even though I know there's no way it's not there. But I'm almost getting a hint of a rye note. It's a spicy, like evergreen note that reminds me of rye. Oh. It's good. Still good. But, yes. The 12, I prefer the 12 over the Lustau. And I prefer the 15, I think, over the 12 at these lower proofs. For the bourbon drinker, the 12-year Redbreast is going to remind you the most of bourbon. It's got so many more bourbon notes that are jumping out. The brown sugar, the maybe even caramel molasses kind of a note. And real nice wood aspect. The 15 is showing up as more of a traditional Irish. Oh. With us leaning more apricot, fruitier, but still super freaking nice. Either one of these you could use as a clone. Oh. Okay, so for my personal preference, I would have to go with 15-year as out of these three as being my favorite. Although 12 is no slouch. So, my favorites would be 15, then 12, then Lustau in last place. That's the way it is. I would love to see the Lustau finish thrown on the 12-year or the 15-year, just to see what that tastes like. It would be interesting to see, and also it'd be really interesting to see what this whiskey tasted like before they did the Lustau finish. To see just what that whiskey is by itself. It'd be interesting to see how young it feels, or to have just more details on what that whiskey really is. Anyway, so that was our Redbreast interactive tasting. I want to do more of these in the future. I want to do a lot more of these where I send out whiskeys to you guys to drink along with me while I'm reviewing. I think that's super fun to know that you guys are out there tasting these right along with me. So I look forward to doing more of these in the future. And with other whiskeys, we'll do some bourbons. Next month when we do the Booker's month, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. I'm going to be sending out a lot of Bookers so that you guys can be drinking along with me. So cheers to that. Cheers to Irish month. I am loving Irish month so far. I don't know why I don't drink more Irish as a normal course. I drink a lot of bourbon. I love Scotch. I love Irish. And this is reminding me how much I love Irish. So I'm definitely going to be drinking more Irish in the future for fun, not just because it's Irish month. So cheers, guys. Until next time, have a great day.